welcome subscribers and viewers to the Philip Cockram channel, or I could call it the Squeaky Floor channel, because there's one thing I can't change about this place is the floors. I've got some new lighting coming, and I've got some better microphones, and I'd like to get a new lens for my camera, but I can't do anything about those floors because this house is 150 years old, and without ripping them up, you know, I'm not getting rid of those squeaks, right? But anyway, moving on. Why are we looking at some little UMX planes instead of just jumping into this AeroScout unboxing? Well, first of all, I wanted to show off a couple of these discontinued babies that I got. You know, they're hard to find, but if you're looking hard enough, you know, you might come across them. The sole reason that I got these is because they have safe technology, and that's why we're one of the reasons I've chosen the AeroScout. And you know, to get back into this hobby, I wouldn't be doing it without this new technology that's available to us, right? So I think E-Flight has one of the best ways to go about that. Is, you know, any hobby's going to be expensive, but to do this, to get into this hobby with the most likelihood of success, I think going down the E-Flight route is a good route to go. Sure, there's cheaper planes out there, but you know, they don't have that safe technology or the AS3X stability system built into them. And so anyway, let's move these guys aside and get into this AeroScout. This is one of the few planes that you can get from E-Flight that's RTR. They just don't make too many of them anymore, and the only radios that are really available on all of their models is your DSX radio. I've already pulled this one out of the box because I've been playing with it. So nothing wrong with this radio. It's a good 6-channel. It's actually 7 channels on this radio. It is programmable with the aid of this little programming cable that you need. While this radio will fly almost every model that plane and heli that they have out there, it's obviously limited to some of its capabilities, right? But it's a great way to get going. Another route to get this radio is to buy it in the Real Flight 9 package. Sometimes these things come on sale and it's going to get a little bit better deal. So there's really only a couple of planes that come RTR with a DSX radio and a couple of helis nowadays. The only plane that I know about that comes with a better radio, a proper DS6E, I guess it is, with a screen that you can program and mix things in, is the big Draco. And that's pretty expensive, right? So it's definitely not an entry-level plane for people. Just one last word on radios before we open this box. If you are planning to, you know, get into this hobby and go down this route, I would suggest you getting a better quality radio right out of the hop. Minimum, you know, a DSX6E, or I would recommend going into the NX newer series because they're discontinuing the DSX series this year. And these guys have Wi-Fi built into them. I don't know if it's showing up there or not, but you literally just, you know, pick your plane, either of these planes, any of the E-Flight stuff or the Blade helicopters, off this list, press a button, import it to the radio, and you're set. You know, everything works. Some of the switches are a little bit different depending on the model, so the flap switch on this model will work on, does the gear on a different model, so you still have to be aware of that. You still have to bind it to your plane. You still have to do the binding procedure if you want to safe select your plane or just have the AS3X going, but trust me, it's, you know, better to buy once, cry once. Okay, you know, get a good quality radio out of the box because you can just do so much more with it, right? Then you can just get all of these planes bind and fly, right? You know, and not have to worry about it. Getting this plane with this plane with just the DXS radio and this battery and charger and stuff, there's nothing wrong with a great, and it's a good deal. And it's got everything in the box, you're ready to go. But just so you're aware, this battery is the minimum, size that you kind of need for this plane. This charger is, well, it is a smart charger and it does work. It takes forever. It's literally useless. I mean, it takes, just for this 2200 milliamp battery, it takes like, 12 hours to charge it, right? That's really, just not possible. So if you have nothing, it's better than nothing, right? But I wouldn't be counting on using it, right? So there's one of the batteries that came in the other day that I was doing the Bonanza on, right? And it's just a size difference for you guys to see. That's a 2200, that's a 2800. Other than that, it's exactly the same size, but it's a little thicker and a little bit heavier. So let's open up this plane. Two more tips just before we continue. Horizon Hobby has the UMX Citation on sale right now, $50 off. I just ordered two because it's just such an awesome little plane. I wanted one to fly the crap out of and one for, just being nice on the shelf. So I think that's a sale coming from all over, the US or whatever, from Horizon Hobby itself, if you want to check that out. Also, these guys here are in stock at Hobby King right now. Here's a picture of this plane compared to your little E-Sheen or Voluntex or whatever brand of mini warbird that you have. These are the same price for me, both of these planes. Here's the picture. This is 10 times the plane. Okay, it's 10 times the plane. You can't even compare the two. All right, and it's the same money. Yes, this comes with a battery and a little cheap radio that you don't even want to use, right? And this, you have to put a receiver in it and use your better radios. But $142, I think, Canadian. All the prices I'm going to be talking about in all the videos are going to be Canadian prices, right? That means that it's basically cheaper for everybody else watching me. And another thing before I continue, all these are going to be unboxing videos. Flight videos are going to be separately titled, right? Maiden flights or just flight videos with the name of the plane going. And when I can conscript somebody to film me doing it, because I don't want to film just a dot flying around in the air for you guys, right? Other than setting up a static camera on the runway, that's about all I can show you, and I'm not the kind of guy that wears a GoPro on his head, right? So, moving on. Alright, so let's unbox this baby. I'm also starting out very, very late in the year, as you can tell. It snowed yesterday. I just got all these planes in the last few weeks, right? So again, I'm preparing for kind of next year. How much flying I'm going to get done in the Canadian winter here, I don't know. We've got two bars, small square one, big square one. We've got our 3 wheels, nice heavy duty metal wheels. Side, we've got our 3 bolts that hold the main wing on, a little screwdriver, fine plug, some Velcro for the battery. We've got 1 elevator, 2 elevator. Very nice quality. The decals are on there. There's not really any bubbling or anything like that. Very nice smooth finish, EPO foam. Number 1 AeroScout. So they got the reinforcement bar on the top of the thing. Usually it's on the underside, but I think that's how they've got the hinge cut in there. There's really no fancy hinges or anything like that. It's just the foam, but they do have nice horns and connecting rods and stuff on there. I bought a little servo centering thing the other day, which is, I've already used it a couple times. It's a great tool to have if you don't have it. Some of the new little testers and chargers have the centering thing built right on them too, which is great for this kind of stuff. Wing number 2, it says hobby zone on it. So this is what, 1.1 meter, whatever. It's a nice size because if you've flown just some of the little stuff you see, it it doesn't take much of a wind to bounce those things around, right? So it's okay, a little bit bigger. So there's our fuselage, baby. So nice, your rudder's basically built into the fuselage, right? Everything kind of comes pre-assembled, and your motor and everything's in there. We've got a nice magnetic hatch. I already popped the battery in there just to give it a kind of feel and weight. So you connect your wings there before you screw them down. Other than that, everything else is ready to go. You're going to plug in, follow your bind procedure, whether you want the Safe Select active or just the AS3X active. Follow procedure in the book, and basically, you pull out the bind plug at the right or wrong time. The appropriate battery. What else? So let's just pop this together really fast. It's should go pretty easy. I think this bar goes in either way. Push that guy into the middle. I hope you guys can see this over there. Push that on there. Nice tight fit. Nice it's square so it can't turn on you. You know it's always going to be 100% lined up. What's next? We've got our wheels. This is my favorite part of this plane, right? They just literally go in these, hold it that way, go in these slots in the bottom, and there's a click. That's just so awesome. Where is it there? And I think you just push in those little tabs to pull them out. The front wheel, which is cool, steerable on this model, which gives you lots of tack. There's a little flat spot on the shaft of the wheel that you want to line up with that screw on there. Pop that in. You're going to tighten it up on that screw with your flat spot. Just going to stop it for now because I'm going to end up taking it apart. And then our wing. Looks pretty straightforward here. We've got our, doesn't really matter I guess which side you push that bar into. It only goes in so far. Again, it's square, it's nice and easy, so everything lines up good. You can see there's some little slots there that your wires are supposed to get out of the way on. You hold it that way and then the wires will fall out of the way. There we go. That's it. Together. So you're going to hook up those two wires to those two leads. Tuck them down inside there. Pop the wing on top. Get these little screws. They're thumb screws, but there is a Phillips head in there. Bolts, I should say. They're not screws, they're bolts. Looks like it lines up with without even looking at it, really. Again, that's what you gotta love about the E-Flight stuff is it's they're all made and engineered, right? Despite my rant about their packaging there and stuff like that, right? You can feel these things. You want to tighten these down progressively all the time. I guess I should check before I actually do that I'm not have anything sticking out or whatever. Looks good, right? You can feel it kind of pulling down, you know, nice and flat and even, right? So I don't think you're actually supposed to put a screwdriver on these, right? I think this hand tight is going to be adequate. And there's your plane. You know, pop your battery in there, do your bind procedure, and you're flying. That's it, folks. Thanks for watching today's show. Love and peace from Canada, and we are YouTube.